Good afternoon, traders. Today is February 7th, 2025. How's the sound? How's the picture? Lots better. All right. My name is John Kerrigan. I moderate the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. This is the BYOB Market Wrap Up. Today is February 7th, 2025, if I didn't say that yet. Let's go ahead and take a look at some charts. All right, for today, we got SPY on the 10-minute chart. Got ourselves a 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. 2-hour chart, 2-hour downtrend coming into the close. All right, for the midpoint. All right, so here's the quad midpoint. We have support down here about 599, actually 598.90, right about there. Okay, right at the midpoint, we got some support. We'll see if they want to continue into that, or they've made a lower low with a big igniting candle. I'm curious to see if we're going to, made a lower high. Curious to see if we're going to make another lower low. We'll find out what they want to do next week. All right. I got to say, that's one igniting candle with some follow through, and neither one of those candles look like exhaustion. All right. So there's a 2-hour downtrend. 10-minute downtrend. Price is closing underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP, which is right there. Price closing underneath it. Take off the midpoint right here. All right, so you got a an outside day. It's a higher high and a lower low, closing underneath the bullish trap and almost underneath the 17 EMA there. All right, still in a downtrend. All right, it's just a label. They're still in a downtrend. They haven't made a higher high yet. All right, so still in a downtrend. They made a lower low here, and they took out that low. All right, so look at it from the quad lines right there. You can see price action still up in quadrant 4. That's bullish, all right? But not looking good because we made a lower high. And chances are we'll see if they can recover this next week, or if we're actually going to come down here and make a lower low. We'll find out. So there's SPY. Let's just take a look at the VZO on the daily chart. So here's the VZO. All right, in this rally up, it did not look anything like this rally. All right, I'm going to box it off. So here's this rally on the VZO. Okay, notice all the candles up over the yellow line. Okay, on this VZO. Put those in one more time, see if I can get it. All right, there you go. See the candles up over the yellow line? Very few candles up over the yellow line on this rally. Same with this rally. Okay, see this rally? Nothing over the 17. And what happened? We failed to make a higher high. Again, we got one candle over the yellow line here, and yet we failed to make a higher high. Out of the 5 candles, none of them except for one are over the yellow line. That's it. So what we're looking for is something like this. So it's hard to say if we're going to make a lower low. It kind of looks like it if I'm just looking at the daily chart VZO. All right, just want to put that out there. If you were here this morning, all right, and you were in the room, you got a little notification at the top of the day in the room. See if I can drag this up there. All right. If you scroll up to the top of the day, all right, there was some pictures, all right, a little photography going on, all right, and on this we noticed we had a triple top last time, led to a harsh pullback. Okay, and then we had a triple bottom, which led to a new all-time high. Now we were in this possible triple top up here, okay? And I was saying that, maybe be cautious, maybe some covered calls, maybe some debit spreads as we're reaching the triple top yet again, all right? So could it be a double top of triple tops sending us packing all the way down to 550? I don't know, all right? First, we got to break the midpoint, and we haven't done that yet. We're still in the bullish section of the quad lines. If you look at where we are, we're still bullish up there. Have we started a daily uptrend? No, but that's just the label. I'm sure we've got a 2-hour and a 4-hour uptrend in there somewhere. I don't know about today, but we did get an igniting candle with some follow through on the 2-hour chart. So I don't know. It kind of looks like we might be making a lower low. We'll see what happens, all right? I'd rather err on the side of caution. I have very few positions in the account. We did good today. If you traded today, you got the SPY game plan at the beginning of the day. And you can see right here, price over, well, it's right there. Right over 606.10 was a buy entry. So all you needed was a green candle to buy that up. All right, so let's take a look at where SPY went today. All right, so let's look at it from the 5-minute chart. And we'll go back to the beginning of the day. And where's the beginning? Right about, let's just say right about there. Here's our beginning chart. You got a nice candle to buy into. And we rode it right up to 608. You got a doji candle kind of pausing up there. And that pause was, guess what? See this valley right there between the two peaks? Okay, well, it came right up to that valley. I'm telling you, traders, okay? Whenever you see a valley between two peaks, it's going to be a target almost every time. All right, so you can see we went right up to that valley between the two peaks. And then from there, they just took a dump. I mean, they just fell out of bed right there after hitting that valley between these two peaks of the prior high. All right, putting us in for a lower high and a possible triple top, and sent us back down darn near the midpoint. Not quite there yet. We'll see what happens next week. All right, should be interesting to see what happens next week. All right, so there's what happened today. And then, of course, if you played the the SPY game plan, you got a sell order underneath 603.20, but actually came in a whole lot earlier once price broke below this this area right here, below this VWAP, right underneath there. You got a sell, so we had an opportunity to sell into this low. And then there was a pullback. And then if you traded the pullback, you got another lower low. All right, so you were rewarded right underneath this. This is the prior day's low anchored VWAP. Price got underneath it instead of bouncing like it normally does. All right, see how price came up to the prior day's anchored VWAP, bounced on it, and then ripped up higher. Well, we put another one in here, and price came back to it, and it bounced a little bit, but then after that came right through. So we bought some puts up here, probably red erasing green right there, right underneath those tails, right at 603.89, and we could trade them down to here, sell the pullback, trade it down to here. So nice day for the puts. All right, so there's SPY on the 5-minute. All right, let's go take a look at the VZO. Okay, so if you traded today, I use 3 indicators. All right, I use PPO, MACD, and a VZO, and I do it on the 15-minute. Okay, so if you got this up, and you can see today's price action begins at that line right there. So we're going to spread this out. All right, so I like my PPO to be under 0.06. And you can see right here at the beginning of the meltdown, we got some 0.06 right there. All right, and we had 0.06. The MACD was red, and the VZO had descending red bars. See how they're coming down, making lower lows right through here underneath the yellow line. So you could stay in this actually up until, actually on the VZO, right up until about this candle right there. You could stay short, which would have brought you down to, well, roughly about 601 right there. So that was a nice trade if you took that from, actually from this area right here, about 604, 603.89, and wrote it down to 601. That was a nice ride. All right, so there's SPY, traded the game plan. We used the indicators. You had underneath 0.06. If you need this chart, I will share the whole thing in the, I'll share the whole layout in the chat room right there. Copy to clipboard. And let me get that posted up in there. If you're interested in that layout, you'll find it in there. All right. All right, so there's SPY. So now I'm going to eliminate this. You did the daily, did the weekly. Let's go over to QQQ. Let's hit the daily chart on the QQQ. Looks the same as SPY. Higher high, lower low, closing under. Bullish trap over the 17, just like SPY. Over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Up in quadrant 4, still bullish. Only difference is QQQ still in an uptrend. All right? QQQ hasn't made a lower low, whereas SPY did. All right, FNGU. FNGU, outside day, same deal. Higher high, lower low, closing under the bullish trap. Over the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP right here. Okay, over the downtrend line, over the uptrend line, up in quadrant 4, still bullish. Just got an igniting candle to the downside. I don't know if you'd call that an igniting candle. I'm trying to question that. It's not, it's big. It's not that big or that big, but it's good size. All right. But there's clearly bigger red candles. We could see a bounce. I hope we do. Off the all-time high anchored VWAP. We'll see what happens. All right, let's take a look at Diamond Dow. All right, so on Diamond Dow, this is today's candle. Lower high, lower low, closing underneath. Bearish cross over the rising 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Still in a downtrend. It's just a label, but they're bullish. They're way up here in quadrant 4. That is the all-time high. They're not far from it, okay? They're at 443.27, and the all-time high is, well, we'll just call it 452, all right? So they're not far from it at all, especially when you're doing $5 candles, 2 days, and you got that accomplished, all right? All you need is a couple of good days for Diamond Dow. All right, let's take a look at IWM. Okay, IWM is in an uptrend, but today's candle did not move up. Higher, lower high, lower low, closing under, bearish cross, underneath the 17, not in the upper third, underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP, but over the midpoint, okay? So just neutral. They keep moving up and giving it up, all right? Moving up, giving it up, but they've got a extended uptrend here. Let's go ahead and drag this out and put that in there. See what we got. You can see they're closing here in quadrant 3, but not in the upper third. So still over that uptrend line. Nice work there. All right, still over this 3-year high anchored VWAP right there. All right, IWM. Take a look at the technicals, T2122. Well, we find ourselves making lower highs, and guess what? Now we're in the seller's chop zone. All right, so T2123 having a little bit of a meltdown today, back into the seller's chop zone. T2123, you can see the beginning of the day rally here, all right, and then just kind of a sell-off into the end of the day, all right, ever since they made this double top here, just kind of sold off for the rest of the day. Still up over the rising 200 SMA. Still up over those two prior all-time highs. Okay, so there's T21.23 on the 15-minute chart. Okay, notice we still haven't given up that 200 SMA that's rising. On the 3-bar chart, okay, amazing, put in still 3 more green candle bars for T21.23 on the 3-bar chart. And I would have thought those would have been red, but they're not. So nice work. Again, bull flag consolidation. I mentioned this a few days ago, looking for this to consolidate over prior consolidation. That would be bullish. All right, so price action still closing in on that falling 200 SMA there and consolidating over prior consolidation. That's a bullish environment. All right, so we'll see if they can consolidate and then maybe step up and get on top, climb on top of this 200 SMA. We'll see what happens. They're up over these 2 prior all-time highs. That's these 2 green lines here, closing in on the price of the falling 200. Let's take a look at FNGU, not like we didn't look at it earlier. Again, rallied in the morning and then sold off. See, we got underneath VWAP and we never recovered after getting underneath VWAP. Closing underneath the 200 SMA there. All right, that's like a flat wavy 200 SMA. But on the bullish side of the pink line, it's the all-time high anchored VWAP. Again, closing over the downtrend line, over the uptrend line, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. There's still some bullishness left in there, okay? They have not made a lower low, all right? So they're still looking good, all right? FNGU. Let's go take a look at a few sectors. First sector, let's try XLE. XLE. All right, XLE got a habit of moving up and giving it up, so it's just neutral. And it's on the bearish side of neutrality, making an inside day today. Lower high, higher low, closing under a trap, under the 17, under this, I'm going to call it a 12-month high anchored VWAP, underneath this downtrend line, underneath this downtrend line, okay? Need to see price get up and hold that higher ground. It's been struggling. Nice thing we got is a higher low. Can they make the higher high and negate the downtrend status? We'll see what happens. Okay, let's take a look at UNG. UNG still bullish. Price action. Let's see what we got here. It's gonna lower high, lower low, closing inside a bullish trap over the 17, outside of the buy box. If it pulls back in here, I'm going to reload. Over the 12-year high, 12-month high, anchored VWAP. It's just a 12-month high. Okay, on the bullish side of neutrality, just kind of neutral. Again, moving up and giving it up most of the time. They're still in an uptrend. They're just not in the upper third, and they're not in the upper quadrant. That's UNG. USO. All right, USO is another one in an uptrend, but in order for it to negate the uptrend, it has to take out this low down here. All right, this is the breakup candle low. They got to take that out. Notice they don't have any higher lows underneath the 17. So this is a pullback in the downtrend. It's been going on for about 20 days now. Okay, this pullback in the downtrend, but USO is just a label in an uptrend, but not moving up. Price action inside day, higher high, lower low, closing under the trap, under the 17, over this 3-year high anchored VWAP, inside the buy box, over the midpoint. Okay, so maybe they'll find some support, and I said this earlier, right along that minor support area. That's those peaks, those wicks, right through here. All right, that'd be a nice place for, I'm going to say it's a nice place for a bounce. I'll be straight with you. That's really nice place for a bounce. If they don't bounce there, I'll bet we bounce right here on this 3-year high anchored VWAP, or the all-time high anchored VWAP for USO. All right. Oh, no, 3-year high anchored VWAP. My bad. All right, let's take a look at GLD. All right, what did GLD do today? GLD, new all-time high again. All right. Earlier this week, we put in a new all-time high here, 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 here. We missed yesterday, all right? So we called in sick yesterday, came back today and did it again, all right? GLD, new all-time high, closing over the trap, over the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP at the very, very, very top of quadrant 4. That is bullish, all right? GLD is in an uptrend. SLV also in an uptrend. Price action, higher low, higher high, closing inside a bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA. Would have liked to seen it close up here in the upper third. Couldn't quite get it done, all right? But they did take and make a visit up there, all right? So this is right here. This is a silver. That is a 12-month high anchored VWAP right there. And we closed over it, okay? Over the midpoint. Just kind of neutral right now because they keep going up and giving it up. See, they go up and then they give it up. Got to get up here and hold in that upper third or upper quadrant, all right? Start holding the higher ground instead of moving up and giving it up. Okay, let's take a look at SMH. SMH still in a downtrend. If they take out that high, they'll be in an uptrend. Didn't close in the upper third. They were bullish this morning, and then you can see right now just neutral. Okay, got a habit of moving up and giving it up. All right, closing over. Okay, closing under a bullish trap, under the falling 17, but over this all-time high anchored VWAP. That's the pink line. So just neutral right now till they can get up there and start holding. You can see all the peaks. They can't seem to hold it when they get up there. They kind of fall apart every time they get up there. There's SMH. Let's take a look at XLK. Technology is holding the upper quadrant, okay? That is bullish, all right? Outside day, higher high, lower low, closing inside a bullish trap, but under the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. They put in an all-time high right here about, let's see, 1, 2, let's call this a week, call this another week. So 2 weeks ago, they put in a new all-time high. And they're still sticking it up in quadrant 4. Nice work. XLK, still bullish. XLF. XLF, look at this. New all-time high today. All right? Closing over the prior all-time high anchored VWAP. Closing over the bullish trap, over the rising 17. Closing over a second prior all-time high anchored VWAP. XLF is bullish. All right? That's a new all-time high. Pretty nice. XLF, new all-time high. GLD, new all-time high. Not too bad. There's still some, some sectors or some pieces of the market that are doing very well. Let's take a look at XLI. Industrials, still in a downtrend. All right. We have to take out this lower high in order to negate the downtrend. Price action is a higher low and a higher high, closing under a bearish trap, under the 17, but over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Up here in quadrant 4, that's bullish up there. Let's take a look at XLU. XLU is still in an uptrend, but not moving up. All right. Notice XLU is not in the upper third. All right. Not like XLI. XLI is looking much healthier. Okay, but XLU has the uptrend status. Go figure, all right? Well, they just happened to make a lower high here, all right? So they made put a bar in, and it was easy to beat, so they beat it right there. Had XLI done that, they could have been in an uptrend, but hey, it's just the label. All right, price action for today, XLU utilities, is a higher high and a higher low, closing inside a bullish trap over the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Darn close to being in the upper third, but didn't quite make it. No cigar there, all right? XLU. All right, so just neutral, XLU. Last one, IYT, then we're going to call it a day. All right, so here's transports. Higher high, higher low, closing. Wow, transports did pretty good today. Not like the rest of the market. All right. Closing over bullish cross, over flat 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP, over the uptrend line, in the upper third. That's bullish. IYT recovers nicely. And today was not a great day. So IYT looking good. All right. All right, traders, that's it. Okay, for me. Hope you all had a good day. If you look up in the alerts, I did do a demonstration on how I flip a bad position into a good position. And it's called John Demonstrates How He Wiggles Out of a Bad Position. Now, I have not had a chance to look at the video. All I did was tape whatever I had recorded and put it out there for people to see. It is unlisted, all right? And you can see it on the video. All right? If you want to see it, just copy that into your browser. All right, you have to copy that exactly into your browser. All right, and that will take you to how I demonstrate how I wiggle out of a bad position. All right, it's kind of interesting because you'll see me take a loss on a few sells, but then eventually the whole position turns green, and it's kind of neat how it's done, and I explain why it works and how it works. All right, so it's right there. Again, I haven't had a chance to look at it. I hope it turned out great. I plan to look at it sometime tonight. Okay, I'm out of breath right now. All right, so thank you all for hanging out with me today this week. I hope you all made some money this week. If you did, give me a yes, a Y, something that says you had a positive week. I love it. Robert, thank you. Something telling me you had a good week, or at least you're green this week. Mel did awesome today. Like 15,000. Like crazy. Way to go, Mel. Love it. All right. If you had a good week, let me know. I'd like to see it. All right. All right, everybody. Until Monday, 8 o'clock on Monday. All right. Thank you. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me.